All right, how's it going? Hopefully, I see a couple people lined up, right, ready to start. Oh, there we go. Gotta mute that. All right, just give everybody a couple minutes to hop in. Hey, how's it going, Zach?
Good, Jason. How are you today?
Great, man. I actually had a really interesting morning, so it was a lot of fun. Got to
Cool.
get out of the house for once.
Yeah, I hear you. So, do you primarily work from home most of the time, or?
Yeah, 100%. Just work from home now.
Cool.
Yeah, except for today, where I went in and joined a couple of the guys that do the mob programming just down in Carlsbad.
Oh yeah.
And hung out with them for a day. It was good. I hadn't been there in many years, and it was a lot of fun. Have
Nice.
you seen their stuff yet?
No, I think maybe you sent out an email that talked a little bit about that, and I checked out a video or something, but don't
Oh,
have a
okay.
lot of experience with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. They do it. They've got a 25, 26 man setup, and it's just groups of 3 to 5 working on dual 70-inch monitors, and they just rotate who's on there, who's on the keyboard every 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of their mob, and they just go through, and all 3 or 5 are just working together, and it's pretty cool. I was surprised. Like I'd seen it once before, and I saw how productive they were, and then I saw it this time, and it's nuts. Like they expanded a lot for a reason, and they're open to letting people go in there and try it. So if you ever want to check it out,
Hmm.
the guy who runs it, Chris Lucian, he's at the meetups all the time and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think he was actually helping run one of them for a while. But yeah, cool guy, and they bring people in, just come in and hang out and check it out. It's certainly a different experience
Yeah,
and
I bet.
worth checking out. It's a lot of fun, and they essentially their target is 0 bugs in production, and I think they come pretty damn close. I don't think they really ship many bugs. Everything's test driven, everything's covered, and uh, they're really successful with it. So
Wow.
I'm sure I'll make a video rambling on about it for a long time
Yeah,
tonight
yeah.
too, or
We
tomorrow,
do
because
we
it's
do a
cool.
decent amount of, I guess, pair programming at my job every now and
Oh,
then, anyway. And I mean, I find that helpful, but I imagine the mob programming is a whole different world.
it is, and the thing that I liked about it the best is that the junior programmers they get caught up quick because they
Mhm.
start to see how to do things the right way, like every day, all day, and they're just constantly engaged and they're learning too and bringing in ideas and stuff. So
Very
it's
cool.
pretty cool. Nice. So I guess we can get started. It looks like there's a decent number of people here. So how's everybody doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I haven't done today's lesson yet, but I'm caught up other than that, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying as we start kind of layering in more and more complexity, touching more of the framework that Unity kind of offers. And so, I mean, I've kind of I've done dabbling with Unity games before, and I think we're kind of getting to the point where in the past I would have maybe started to get overwhelmed with trying to manage all the different systems and not keeping my code clean enough and short enough. And so I'm getting really interested to see like how the progression is going to happen moving forward from here. How we continue to layer in complexity and more features and things while still keeping a clean, manageable code base. So.
Oh, cool. That's good. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. So, and we're going to keep doing that stuff, and then some of the other projects can be even, I'd say, dramatically more complicated.
Awesome.
So it's going to be fun. Brenton had a question. Oh, not enjoying the animator/animation system. Yeah, it's much better than it used to be. It used to be all just using the old animation system and writing the blends in code for every transition, and it was at the time I thought it was awesome. And then the new stuff came out and kind of got rid of all that code, which was nice, but it is a little frustrating sometimes. What did you run into anything specifically with it that was really irritating? I don't know if you guys can see the chat up here too. Oh, okay. Just don't find it intuitive. Yeah, it does take a little while to get used to. I don't think I liked it when it first came out either. I think I stayed scripting mine for at least a couple months before I finally gave in and got comfortable with it. But yeah, it can definitely be daunting, especially with the really crazy trees you can get in there. And then you go into the blend trees with the blend trees inside them. And cool. What about everybody else? In here, James and Josh.
I personally like the animation setup, but I don't know anything else. So I mean, I don't know what it was before or what. I think the entire thing is intuitive. I you know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole thing is making it
like that
easy. I can't believe it's this easy. That's what it is.
Yeah, the one thing that always catches me up in the animation system is the casing of the stupid parameters. I really wish they weren't case sensitive, but that's like the number one issue I run into there. That and the stupid has exit time checkbox always gets missed.
Right. I think I continue to do what I told you. Sorry, my phone. I continue to do what I was telling you in the past when you're challenging us to write our own code, and that's overthink it.
Oh yeah.
You overcomplicate it. You know, it's too easy.
Josh, you got a friend. Your ringtone.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Spam of point collection. Yes, the animation for that is too slow to get them really fast. A couple options there. We could either add in more or just speed the thing up. Alternatively, you could use particles too, but it didn't seem like we'd be hitting them that fast. It would make sense and kind of complicate stuff a little bit more. We'll be diving into a lot of particle stuff later. But yeah, I think the simplest solution to that, unless you want to go a different way, is to just speed up that animation, just make it play faster, or shorten the length of it, and it'll go and go really quick. But that is a problem that you can't have multiple coins out of there. Or yeah, you could also just do that, just make it restart. But yeah, it does kind of suck because it'd be cool to have the coins just kind of bounce out of there and flip out. And, yeah, maybe I'll do a little extra on that. Do something with that. You can probably squeeze that in the next 2 days.
It doesn't seem like it'd be hard to make them bounce out and just disappear, you know?
Right. Or we could just make it spawn a regular coin, have that coin bounce out, and then go pick up the coins too. Do all kinds of fun stuff. Cool. So, what's the moving platforms? Those are. Oh wait, I think those are in today's, right? To keep straight. I don't know if anybody got a chance to play with those yet. That stuff's a lot of fun. Actually, add some challenge.
I've got about 2-3 minutes left of the last video 7 right now. I'm just catching up.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was your moving platform problem, Brenton? Josh, were your platforms working fine?
I haven't done the moving platforms yet, but
Okay.
everything I have done so far has been fine. I was just about to just kind of mess around and start making that block move up and down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the one that kills you, the first block that killed us.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Get that thing flying up and out. When you do that, by the way, you play with the animation curve so it stays up the top for a little while, or play with make an animation in there instead and have it stay at the top, shake a little, and then fall down.
I was thinking about that, just kind of making kind of pause for a minute, you know, kind of hang there for a minute. I was also thinking about maybe playing with like the raycast and have it set up to where it falls if he passes under it.
Oh, yeah. Another thing, hold on, I want to get back over to this platform thing, but before, if what you're talking about for triggering it with a raycast, another thing you do is set up a collider that you enter that triggers it. So you like have a little trigger area.
Probably a little easier to do.
Yeah, well, the trigger area is the nice way to do it, because then you can put that wherever you want, and it doesn't have to be like a straight ray. You just say, hey, on trigger enter, play this thing, and you basically just have to play the animation on the spike thing to make it fly down. Okay, so it would snap to the position, change code, distance check, felt hacky patch. I have not. So I did see a little bit of snapping with. Hold on, let me just open up the correct script. Make sure I'm saying the right things here. So there was, what was it? Oh, that's right. On lines 39 and 40 of the character grounding, where it checks to see if it had a value. If you don't have that in there, it will definitely snap, because the last position, or if the vector 3 was 0, that's when it would snap. I have not seen it snapping, just popping into. Yeah, if you can do that. Also, if you could share your project with me on Unity Collaborate in there, then I can just pull it down, and if I can repro it on yours, and actually I can just diff mine against yours and see what's going on, and then see if I can repro it and then fix it up, because yeah, that's strange. Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and just share that with me, and I'll check it out after this call and see if I can figure out what's going on there. It could be that it's just not happening for me, and it's an actual issue in the code. I'm not 100% sure. A slightly different method than I've used in the past, but it seems like it worked and it seemed clean, but it's very possible there's a little issue there that I need to figure out. Well, anybody running into any other issues or any just general questions?
Yeah, I have a question about integrating with Visual Studio. So I just have pretty much the default, everything pretty much default on 2017 Community Edition Visual Studio.
Yeah.
On my home machine anyway. And I noticed that at least for me, by default, my IntelliSense doesn't work when I'm trying to autocomplete Unity methods. So it knows about, like, if I start typing transform, it knows that's a part of the Unity engine package. But I noticed when watching you, it seems to complete the actual method names. I didn't know if that was a configuration thing, or if is that something I'm missing.
No, I forget how you install it individually, but if you just do the Visual Studio install through Unity, it puts in, it's some extension, I forget what it's called, that does that just has the IntelliSense stuff for Unity. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I've had to do it separately when I had Enterprise installed.
Yeah, that might be it because I already had it installed when I downloaded Unity, and so I chose not to reinstall it. So it's probably the problem.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's Visual Studio 2017 Tools for Unity.
Okay.
It's just an extension that it adds into Unity and then gives you that. I think it also adds the debugging, so you can actually attach and debug with
Okay,
Unity.
yeah, I was going to ask about that too, because it wasn't there by default, but that would make sense.
Yeah, and it's here, let me just pull up the link. At least I think that's the one. Unless that's the old one and they've added something new in. It's the only one I see installed. But yeah, I would try just installing it through or rerunning either one of the installers. The Visual Studio installer also has a Unity option now, a checkbox for it, to just add Unity support, just like you would add web support or Windows Phone support or anything else. You can just rerun either one of those. It's probably the easier way to get it in there. And just drop it right in. Cool. Anybody got anything else or anything they want to share? Anybody made anything cool yet?
No, I was just gonna wait till we're done with this game and finish it up and publish it to Simmer.
Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. Different step sounds based on the platform. I like it. Oh, that is cool. That's a really good idea too. I hadn't thought of that. Just put it in there. How are you detecting the different platform types? Oh, okay. Just using a tag to set the different type. Yeah, it works. Yeah, the only issue with tags, I'm sure you know, it's just that they're hard to discover. A lot of the time, people don't realize that you're using a tag, and then in this, it doesn't matter. But in a bigger project, that's the issue. Like people, like nobody ever looks at the tag thing, and then they don't realize why the thing doesn't work. Plus, if a tag's not set, it's not obvious that that's the problem because it's just at the default value. Think of it like went to some invalid state or something, or you had to set it, or I don't know. If it was a lot more discoverable, it wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, it does work and it's nice and simple. That's a cool idea though. I like that. Having it be different footsteps. Oh yeah, you're using Odin. Odin's awesome. I'd like to use it, but I didn't want to use it throughout the course because I didn't want anybody to think that they need to go grab an extra extension, and I also wanted to make sure that my stuff just kind of matched their defaults. But Odin is awesome. Love that thing.
Yeah, I was using layers, not tags for the walls. I just set the layer as jumpable wall, and then so that way if I just shot, so I had because I had all the code for like the speed. I used the speed was the horizontal, so I just used the speed and direction to determine where to shoot raycast for the wall, and then checked if it was a jumpable wall layer. And then it made it really easy. So it was just facing the wall. It could jump, and you just have to face it and add 3 raycasts, one at the top of the head, one at the body, one at the feet. So that way you kind of get all 3. But I think the problem I had was trying to apply the jump force. So what I would do is I would apply a negative force to the direction. So if my player was facing right, it would apply a force in the opposite direction. But the problem is it would start to get weird on the jumping because you would go faster. So if you like jumped off a wall and then started pressing in that opposite direction, you would fly twice as fast as the normal jump speed. And so I was just like flying all across the map. And so I disabled it for the time being.
That is cool though. That's nice. I know I haven't actually shot anything on wall jumping yet. Although I did do some wall jumping the last time around, and that was something that was requested. So I think we'll have it in here, maybe with tomorrow's or Fridays. I'm not sure. I'd like to get that squeezed in because it is a really cool feature. Being able to bounce back and forth up the walls and yeah. You'll only see 2 right now. There's a whole bunch more that are going to be up probably right after this call. They're all ready to go. I just need to go through and make sure that everything's good and hit the button. So we'll be going through making an enemy and killing the enemy, all kinds of fun stuff.
Jason, speaking of jumping, so I noticed, I think I've read before people talking about moving the player that's controlled by physics based on adding a force versus manipulating the transform directly. Can you just talk about like why you would choose one or the other, and in what situations you would do those?
Sure. Yeah, actually, I think I did a full video on this too. I'll send the link after. But when you're just moving the position, you don't get those physics checks to push stuff right. If you just like keep setting the position. Usually what we'll do for something that needs to like respond to physics properly is modify, either move the rigid body, adjust the rigid body's velocity, or use the character controller, which pretty much does the same thing. Adding force, though, is usually just for things like jumps or like one-time shots, or also, I guess, like sometimes do it for like a rocket where you want to keep it, speeding up in a direction. Like I'm thinking of a jetpack game I did for virtual reality where you'd hold the controllers and they were like holding it like this, and there'd be like flames coming out, and you'd go flying with that. And in that case, you're just adding force because it's in whatever direction, and it's based off of how much you pull. But then you can add it, in multiple directions around different points and have your guy spin around or whatever you want. It's let me find that video where I went over like 5 different ways to move a character and what the actual technical differences are. Let me see. 5 ways to move game objects. I just pasted it in here too, but I think I give a much better, very nice visual example of the differences, showing the colliders hitting, the triggers hitting, and shit going through other stuff right in that video.
Awesome. I'll give it a watch. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Anybody got anything else? If not, I'm going to get to publishing up these videos real quick.
I'm good. I'm ready to get started.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll get those up very soon, and you guys go through. And then I think I'm going to do a mob programming video today because, this morning was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I got to share that.
I have a question for you. So, this is less course related and more specifically you related. You you used to work big companies, but you say you do indie, but you like talk about working for all these, like doing mobs with a bunch of people and stuff. So do you like do as a contractor or something as with other people?
Yeah. So now I just do contract work with other teams that are building games. Jump on and help them with their problems, or sometimes it's longer term stuff. Go in and implement a bunch of stuff for them. The mob thing was just some guys that I know locally that they do that. That's the way they run their thing, is they just have these big mobs of 3 to 5 people, or 3 to 9 actually. I've heard there's one that's 9 people, and they just kind of rotate on the keyboard and go through and build software that's bug free, which is nuts. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really I just went there to go check it out and see how it's going, see what it looks like, and like what kind of benefits they're getting, what problems that they're running into. It was really cool. So it was more, and that was like just me kind of wanting to go out and check out what other people are doing. Plus, since I work from home almost all the time, it's nice to occasionally have a reason to leave the house.
Do you like the indie work versus the company work? Is it a lot just more freedom? And do you feel secure in that work aspect, like secure money wise?
Yeah. So it's definitely a lot more freedom, and you get to do, I think, have a bigger impact on the projects. Depending on the size of the team. With the bigger teams, it's kind of hard to have a huge impact. Like if you're gone, just replace you. Somebody else can do it, right? On the smaller teams, that's much less the case. Financially, it's I'd say it pays better not being on those big teams because there's a lot of people that want on those big teams that are willing to work for lower rates. The small, I haven't seen like a big pay drop on indie stuff. It seems like it's the same or more generally. Of course, if you're relying on the revenue from the indie game to pay your salary, then that could be bad, right? Because there's no guarantee that the indie game's gonna make money. But if you're just getting a regular salary, I've seen them. They seem to be about the same or better usually. And then on the contract side, they're dramatically better than full time.
So when I know that you did a video on YouTube for game developer jobs, you listed sites like Unity Connect, Gamasutra. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Cybercoder. So is that the only places that you go to, or are there other places specifically for like contract coding work? Because I see a lot that seem more like a job kind of thing, looking to hire versus I don't know. I picture as contract work as being like work from home, remote working and stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly those sites that I look on, but a lot of the stuff that the majority of the contract work that I come across either comes from some referral or an event. So I'm out at an event. I've never done a talk and not had somebody offer me contract work after, where you just go up and do some public speaking. I shouldn't say never. Since I've not sucked at it, I've never done a talk where people didn't want to have some kind of contract stuff, and sometimes not right away. It'd be like a couple weeks later, somebody like, hey, I remembered that talk and we're looking for something. And that's where I'd say the majority of the ones that I get come from, or just talking to people at events like the code camps locally and stuff.
So you do like GD I know of GDC, so you do stuff like that where you go and talk about coding?
On occasion, not at GDC, but I usually just do them locally. I really hate traveling. I've gone up to Seattle a couple times because I know people there. But
that's where I'm by Seattle. I'm halfway between Seattle and Portland.
Oh, where are you?
I'm in Chehalis, Washington.
Oh, okay, cool. I used to live in DuPont, Washington, right by
I know where that's
Tacoma.
at.
Yeah, at that Intel plant right there.
Is California just a better place for game development? I feel like I'm out in the middle of nowhere for this.
I don't know if it's better than Seattle, but it's definitely better than where I was up there. Yeah, like because there's just in this area, if I just search around me, there's probably 50 to 100 little game companies, within a 1 hour drive. There's a decent amount of them.
I think here in Seattle, we have a bunch of indie companies. I mean,
in Seattle, yeah, but not down south where he's at.
I mean, for the most part, I mean, does it matter if you're in Chehalis, if the job's in Seattle and you're working from home? I mean,
right.
Yeah,
if you're working remote.
I think PopCap is like one of the biggest upcoming ones out of Seattle in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I think one of the things I need to do is. The problem is I work weekends, but I noticed there's a lot of like solo or indie event kind of things where people get together, but they do it on the weekend when I work, unfortunately. And I'd really like to go up to Seattle because it's only, an hour and a half drive or hour drive from here. So I would like to go up to Seattle and kind of like mingle in with the other indie developers because it sucks being all alone down here. I'd like to get in with other people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I know there's a Unity group that meets up there. One of my friends is or at least he was a co-organizer of that thing, and I think they meet monthly. I can hit him up and see if they're still going. I think they are though. And then he said they had a good number of developers, and I think they have people looking for contractors and looking to hire people too.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if you could. Yeah, I'm just I'm Battle Drake on Facebook, if that's how, or in the email Battle Drake, that's me. I'd love to know about that information.
Okay, I'm sending a message right now.
Sweet.
Well, yeah, as soon as he gets back to me, I'll let you know. Sometimes he's a little slow.
That's okay.
He just had his first baby, so he's still adjusting.
Sounds intense.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool because that's definitely something I've been considering, is whether or not stick indie or go for a company kind of thing. I don't know, contractor, work at a company.
Yeah, or just start at a small company or where I don't know. I mean, it just depends what you like. I mean, when I first started out, I think being in an office was pretty helpful because got to kind of learn from people. Although I think I probably would have learned faster on my own, just kind of being forced into it. But I also may have just totally failed. I don't know.
Really, I've heard that when you go into the industry, you learn way more than you learn independently because you have all the feedback from all the other people helping your coding.
It depends a lot on the place. So I've been to some places where there's a good deal of mentorship like that, and people are responding and explaining how to do code better. And then I've been to a lot of other places where the new developers just go in and they get the crap tasks and they don't really know what they're doing, and nobody's really helping them. It depends. I mean, it really just depends a lot on the manager there or the manager of the team and whether or not they're doing it right and grooming the new developers or not. Like, so the guys this morning in their mob, they were doing it perfect. Like all of their junior developers, there were people in there. I think the lady I talked to first, she'd been coding for she got out of a boot camp 6 months ago or something, and she seemed to know her way around. She seems to know exactly what she's doing now. I was pretty impressed, and I think it's a lot of it is just their senior guys are constantly mentoring the juniors while they're working together.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, I've definitely been looking for improvement. That's why I actually took your course. It was less of like learning how to code because I've been going at it hard enough that I pretty much can make what I need to make, but I want it to be presentable code. And I definitely think that you have the best coding that I've ever seen. And I've only been seeing your content for like less than a month, I think, because I only just recently discovered you from one of your videos or something on YouTube. And then oh no, that's what it was. It was so I had a game jam that I was participating in, and I needed to make a third-person controller because you had to write all your code from scratch. So I couldn't use any pre-existing controls. I couldn't use Cinemachine. I didn't realize that you would use Cinemachine in it at first, but I was like, okay, so you've got a course on a third-person shooter. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect place to start. And then it was a really good course. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Even though I can't use it because I can't use Cinemachine, I thought it was a great little course. And then since then I was like following your videos, and I'm like, man, you actually like touch the topics that nobody else touches because I try YouTube, I try Udemy because Udemy is how I started, and Udemy doesn't they cover basics like beginner stuff, but then after your beginner stuff, it falls off. And really, I just want cleaner code. I want people to like look at my code and go, oh God, I love his code. He obviously has great coding, and I believe that'll make it easier, obviously, to like make games and make them faster. I'm also about that.
Yeah, it makes your stuff less buggy, and it makes it more fun to get it back into your code when it's not confusing, when you can get in and know exactly what to do. So.
That, and when you're putting out a video a day, you're bound to have touch somebody with a video. You know what I'm saying, or grab somebody. I think you pump out a lot of information, man, and that's key as well.
Yeah, and how do you have time for those emails? Geez, I was not expecting an email a day, and they're very insightful emails, by the way.
I've gotten really good at it. I took a course on. I took a course on how to write emails, and before that, I had no idea what to do. Took that course for a month, went through it, and it got super easy. So now it's just like I have a lot of fun writing them. I'm just constantly writing, and yeah, I enjoy it now. I was terrified of the idea before I took that course, though.
Yeah, it's great content. I love it. I get emails a day, which I read every single one of them. I think they're very inspirational and they're good to know. And then you got your videos that you post as well. I read or watch every day. And then I got this course to follow every day. And that's still not even keeping me busy enough, which is surprising.
The machine learning stuff, yes, not for the course, but for the channel, yeah, I was gonna do some more of that. I just have to squeeze in the extra time to get it right because I'm still kind of iffy on the machine learning stuff. I kind of know what I'm doing, but not well enough that I feel like I can explain it just yet. So I need to practice with it a little bit more. And I was actually hoping to pull in one of my friends who does a lot of machine learning stuff outside of Unity. He also does some Unity development, but he does a lot of Python machine learning stuff. He's actually the guy that I saw this morning, and see if I can get him to come in and do something together to really make it easy for people to learn how to use the system in an actual game and control stuff. I'd like to have some like NPCs that are running off the ML agents and doing something cool. I just need to make sure that I get it right and that I can explain it right too, or he can explain it right with me. All right, guys. Well, I think just cut it here, and I'll get those videos up for you in a few minutes and go through stuff. And then I got another one scheduled for Saturday. So I think that let me double check that. Make sure I'm not seeing the wrong thing on here. So yeah, Saturday. I don't know. The countdown timer's there. I think it's at like noon or something. I should put the times in that page. Cool. Oh, good talking to you guys. If you guys have anything else, of course, just feel free to hit me up. I'll be around all the time.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.